What evidence do you have that the Bible is a historic record?
Okay, good question. I have 4 tests that I use on any book that claims to be historical. My 4 tests are internal consistency, meaning by that, are there contradictions within the text that, dude was massively confused. No, when you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, although there are different perspectives, there are no major contradictions. There's a tremendous internal harmony. Second test, literary style. Once upon a time in the land of Nod, Wynken, Blynken, and Nod took a boat ride. Obviously fairy tale. Not the way the Gospels are written. Gospels are, at this time, in this place, with these people around, Jesus said this, he did that. Third test, archaeology. Island of Atlantis. Can't verify. No. Bethlehem, Nazareth, Rome, Sea of Galilee. Yes, archaeologically verifiable. Fourth test, what's the manuscript evidence that we really have what Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, or whoever wrote? The Gospels that we have in English today are based on over 5,800 Greek manuscripts or pieces of manuscript dated from the 2nd through the 10th century AD, all agreeing to an infinitesimal degree. Then we have 10,000 Latin Vulgate manuscripts. Then we have 9,300 approximately manuscripts from the Syriac tradition, Ethiopic, Coptic, Armenian, Slavic, and Gothic. So we have a plethora of manuscript evidence that we really have what the eyewitnesses wrote.
For the first 3 points,
yeah,
I don't really see how those are really different from like a book of realistic fiction, because it is possible for an author to write a story that is based in reality but has some differences. And then the second point is I do find that plethora of archaeological manuscripts and such to be very compelling. But in terms of human history, I find that that's almost instantaneous. I feel like all of those manuscripts go back like thousands of years already, right? And we've been around for tens of thousands of years. I feel like there should be more evidence of such miracles.
You're absolutely right. Historical fiction is a literary style, isn't it? Where you have the place names, the names of the rulers that are true. Okay, here's the problem. That literary style of historical fiction is not used anywhere near the 1st century. It is a more recent literary genre that was invented. Now, what we do have is the Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer, right? But remember, the Iliad and the Odyssey are not historical fiction, they're epic poetry. And so epic poetry was a literary style, it was used, but that's not what the Gospels are. The Gospels are claiming to be eyewitness reportage, and they are nowhere near the time when historical fiction as a literary style was invented. Now, you don't know me from Adam, so who gives a rip about Cliff? The guy who taught literature at Oxford is C.S. Lewis. And what C.S. Lewis pointed out was that I've been studying mythology for years. I teach it at Oxford. And I can tell you that the Gospels are not mythology. They are historical reportage. That is their style. And he goes on and says, for instance, the Gospels are not very creative. They're not imaginative. You see, mythology involves more imaginative writing. And Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John don't have enough imaginative writing. What's he talking about? I plead with you, read Matthew 26, Mark 16, Luke 24, and John 20, the accounts of the resurrection. And what you'll notice is they're about 10 verses. There's no explanation. There's no excitement. It's like Jesus died, he was buried in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, stone was rolled in front, Roman guard was set, disciples dispersed in disillusionment. 3 days later, he first appeared to some women. By the way, they were grief-torn women. And then he appeared to the apostles, and they didn't believe it. They doubted. They didn't say, oh yeah, Jesus, we were expecting you. What took you so long? No. They were saying, we're hallucinating. How can we say this guy's dead? He's not alive. You see, it's that is so attractive to me intellectually, because it's very concise, no embellishment, and the doubts of the eyewitnesses are recorded right there. Well, I like that. You die and rise from the dead, and I'm going to have some serious questions about, am I hallucinating, or is it really you?